Hey, everybody, this is Craig Garber. Welcome to Everyone Loves Guitar. And we're back with Niklas Kallgren, also known as Dango from Truckfighters. This guy's one of my all-time favorite guitar players. Dango was on last year, a couple of years ago, man. He's got a new project and a new record. But let me tell you, if you're not hip to Truckfighters and to Dango's playing, and you like any kind of hard rock, stoner rock, he's an incredible player. Truckfighters is one of the greatest stoner rock bands ever. We were just talking, start with the record Mania and you'll be spoiled forever. Anyway, let me go give you a quick announcement. Make sure you go to everyonelovesguitar.com/subscribe to subscribe to the show. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the little emoji that looks like a bell. That helps us get recommended. And thanks for your support. Quickly about Niklas and Dango. Truckfighters was his former band. They toured Europe, North America, Australia, and South America, playing over 1,000 gigs. Legendary song Desert Cruiser off their first full-length album called Gravity X was one of the anthems of the entire stoner or desert rock genre. The band released 6 full-length albums over 10 years, plus an EP. Again, Mania, which came out in 2009. I remember listening to that. I was on my patio the first time, and my son comes out, and he just saw this look on my face, and he just knew I had something in there. One of the greatest albums ever made. Incredible production, mixing, engineering, and like I said, it's like Dark Side of the Moon of stoner rock. Truckfighters is on a hiatus right now, and Dango is back with a new band, as I said, called Enigma Experience, and a new full-length record called Question Mark. What's happening, man?
I'm here with you.
he's in Sweden right now. It's cold and dark.
Yeah.
Man, question for you. You spent so many years leading Truckfighters. What were the biggest differences just for you in making this record versus a Truckfighters album? And did you have to make any adjustments or changes?
Well, the biggest difference for me, I think, was that I haven't written this kind of complex arrangements by myself. Before me, and also wrote, or some of the other guys in the band earlier also wrote music together. And now I wrote everything myself completely, except one vocal melody and lyric, which Maurice did. But everything else I written myself. So for me, it was for a while before I got into it. I had some problems, like deciding if something was really good or just good, or everything has to be super good.
Yeah.
So I had periods where I was just thinking and listening and like, what the fuck should I do here? Is it good? What should I do now? And I'm used to like asking Mr. Oso. It was like, what do you think about this part? And then it's like, let's try. I think that, but now I had only myself basically to reason with.
That's
so it
tough.
was strange. Yeah. But I did like acquire a friend to just listen sometimes. And what do you think about this? And and that he also played some additional acoustic guitars in the end, Mr. Simon.
Okay, cool.
And he also helped me with the vocal, because for a while I was about to sing it myself, so there's a lot
I was wondering, so he sang it, that there's the vocal there?
No. I mean, the lead vocal is a Norwegian guy, but okay. I had recorded everything myself first because I didn't have a vocalist. And then it's a long story, but this is the summary of it, is that I found Maurice, but then I had recorded everything except one song already. And then when he was going to sing, his voice is much higher pitched, so it didn't feel good to sing like my melodies, my, what do you call it? Yeah, my part of the scale.
Yeah.
So then we put his voice like higher, and I kept a lot of my voices as like a sub harmony. So
cool.
It became a lot more like harmonies on the record than I originally had written, because we just basically improvised it when we recorded the new vocals on top of mine.
So that I didn't realize that you wrote I thought you wrote everything with Truckfighters. I didn't realize you had a co-writer there. This record is complex. It's the arrangements are pretty deep, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Oh, thanks.
First time out. Yeah, man. Who's in the band besides yourself, and what made you guys come together?
Well, first I was just like, since Truckfighters took this hiatus in 2018? Yeah. And then I already had been feeling like making songs for a while, but Mr. Oso was like, nah, I don't feel like it. We're going to have a hiatus soon. So then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna write some songs. And I also already talked to the Truckfighters drummer, Mr. Peso, like, do you want to play some drums on the record? Because yeah, let's do something. But then he's a bit slow, and so we never ended up like meeting and actually jamming. So then I just started writing songs, and I called him and said, now I started writing songs. Do you want to record? So it's me, Mr. Peso. And then I recorded the bass myself as well, and the guitars. And then, a long time after, I found the lead singer, a Norwegian guy called Maurice. So the long story behind that, which would be the continuation to the first story I told you.
Oh, yeah.
Is that first my friend Simon, the guy who was more like a mentor for me than when it came to my singing, he was like kind of meant to be the singer before we actually started the project. I had asked him, like, do you want to sing? He was like, yeah, I think I can do that. But then he quite quickly realized that it wasn't his kind of music and not his thing. He's a little bit not so heavy, I guess, in his style these days. And then I didn't know what to do. So, we had recorded the drums, and I had done almost all the bass and guitar. And then suddenly I don't have a singer. And it's like, what should I do now? And that thought stayed in here for almost a year. Like, what the fuck should I do now?
That long? Wow.
Yeah. So I finished everything except the vocal. And then we had the first like reunion Truckfighters tour booked. And then I realized, like, what the fuck, we're going to play with Truckfighters soon. I'm not going to have time to finish this album if I don't do it before. Then it's going to take even longer. So then I started to like, I'm going to sing myself. Why not? They could be fun.
Yeah.
So I started practicing singing, and I started making vocal melodies and lyrics. And then in the summer of 2019, so 1 year after I started recording it, then I started to record my singing. But then I was just almost finished. I had one song where I didn't really know what to do. I didn't get any feeling for it. And then we toured with Truckfighters again. So I kind of had to put it on hold. And then, this was in August, September. We toured in August, October, and November with Truckfighters. So one of the last shows with Truckfighters on that Gravity X tour that we did, then the support band, the first support band, when we played in Oslo, Norway, I heard their singer, and I was like, wow, this guy sounds really good. So I talked to him after the show. It's like, do you feel like singing a bit? And then we just like connected. So a few weeks later, he came over to my place and recorded half the album in 2-3 days.
Okay.
And then we did another tour with Truckfighters January in Australia. And then before the US tour in February, just before the Corona shit broke out, he came to my place. No, we went to the studio in Örebro, the Truckfighters studio in Örebro. And then we finished all the vocals there.
Wow.
So, and I mean, this guy, I met him.
Say that. Hold on a second. You break up.
Because the Corona made, the borders.
Hold on. Say that again. You said it broke up. You said you met him. You met him.
Yeah, the Norwegian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have met him maybe 7 days of my life in total, the Norwegian lead singer. And in that time, we have done one show where he was support artist and recorded an album. So
that's a pretty productive relationship.
That's quite cool.
Yeah.
And we're really like, connected, like feels like we're best friends. And we obviously we talked a lot on the phone and also like some video calls and stuff like that. But in physical form, we almost never met. 3 occasions and total like 7 days, I think.
That's wild.
It's weird. Yeah. So then we realized, like I said, that his voice and mine fit very well together, like sound wise.
Yeah.
And then we changed the melodies a bit, and I really liked it that he had the physical power, or how do you say it? Physical possibility. I don't know the right word for it, to sing what I wanted in my head.
Yeah.
The voice to sing like, because my voice is like, and then I don't have the
range.
Octave, my range is way too limited to sing like my 90s heroes. Like I wanted this band to sound like. And then he just, after I gave up and it's like, fuck it, I'm singing myself now. Then the rock and roll god sent him down.
There you go. Hey, how far is Finland to travel to your place in Sweden?
Norway, you mean, right?
I'm sorry, Norway. Yeah, stupid, ignorant American.
Well, from me to Oslo, it's like 1 hour by airplane or maybe 7 hours by car.
Oh wow, it's quite a ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the problem, I think, is that but the problem now is that because of Corona, we were not really allowed to travel between the countries. And right now, the borders are actually totally closed from Sweden out to Norway.
Nobody can come in or out.
No, not unless you have like a special reason for it. And I mean, maybe we could like write a paper that he's going to come in and work for my record label, whatever. But
yeah,
to do that, just to rehearse and go through all that crap, you know.
Yeah, that's terrible. I think it's the same all over the most of the world, though.
Yeah. I have friends in France and Italy. I mean, they were not allowed to leave their homes except for like once or twice a day to go to the grocery store and take walks by themselves only. And they had to also like apply to like, I'm going out now, and this is how long you're allowed to be out. And it was just
holy shit,
crazy. So I'm quite happy I'm in Sweden actually compared to other places.
Yeah, like I said, I'm in Florida. We've been fortunate here as far as being able to do stuff. You got to wear a mask, but that's not a big deal, you know. Wow. With Truckfighters, you did all the post recording work up as well, you know, the mixing, engineering. Did you do that with this record as well?
Yeah.
Wow. You're a worker, man.
Quite a project, you know, to do all the composing, all the lyrics, playing 2 instruments and singing, and then also recording and mixing, mastering. Yeah.
That's
also
a lot
did the artwork, but Mr. Peso, the drummer, did like the art itself, and I did like the art direction in the computer and put everything together.
Right.
So, because I haven't done it in a long time, so it was fun.
Plus, you own the record company, the label. Well, let me ask you this, man. How come you like being busy? I mean, I know I read your emails. I'm on your list. You're always like enthusiastic, and I know there's a component of look, you got to put product out, but you seem genuinely excited or passionate about everything.
Definitely. But I mean, of course, I can admit that now I'm not 25 anymore, so I have a little bit less energy than I used to.
Sure.
But I still love what I do, and I don't think that anything else would give me the same feeling of doing something with a purpose, and that makes me feel good, you know. So yeah, I will keep doing it, I guess.
Did you you have a good work ethic though? Were you always like that? Like work super hard?
Yeah. When I get into something that I'm, you know, that's what I am. I'm a bit weird in my head, I guess, in that way.
No, but you have to be. You can't make something work unless you're killing yourself. And
but you know, sometimes I forget to eat if I'm recording or doing stuff. Like even if I'm working on promoting the album and I'm having a lot of emails to send, and I'm looking at the clock, it's like 11. It's like, yeah, I should eat soon. And next time I'm looking at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm just sitting there. Sometimes it's a bit fucked up, and I get like problems with sleeping because I'm too involved, you know.
Yeah.
But that was worse when I was younger as well, because now I kind of let a bit more, like let it go. And
well, it's tough because
I can keep it up instead of just having to.
But it is tough because you're involved in so many different aspects of things. You're involved in so many different aspects. So it's like, it's almost impossible. You know, you're either thinking about, man, I got to change the guitar in that mix tomorrow, or I got to get an email out to this new art. I mean, there's a lot of shit to do. I get it, man. Yeah. But you do a great job. I really, it shows in this, everything you do, you know, you do first class stuff and you give 100%. You can see that. And even your emails, like I said, man. No, you can feel that, you know, when someone's just like, hey, I mean, and it's tough because you're promoting sometimes the same record. I've done this, so I know, not with music, but in business, you've got to promote the same record, maybe over 4 or 5 emails, right? It's hard to talk about the same thing 5 times. It really is. Yeah. And people don't realize it unless they're doing it. But I mean, how many different things can you say? You know, so you have to.
it's a challenge actually to find an approach to each like mail out or each social media post, you know, to make it not be just exactly like the last one.
Yeah,
somehow
it is a challenge. A content creation in general is a challenge. I mean, look how tough it is to get a record out. That's a content create. You know, look at all the work you had to do writing those songs and everything. But I don't think people realize just how, you know, people just see, oh, you type an email. It's not anything like that. You know, even getting the email set up in this stupid email client is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and it's also, you know, like people think like, oh, maybe it's not so much work. You say that what did you today? I sent emails. Oh no, that's not work. But if you do it for something you're passionate about and you think every time, how should I do it? In what way? Who should I email to? It takes a lot of your mental capacity, actually.
Yes, it totally does. And you're promoting multiple bands. So I give you credit because you're really consistent. You know, you have like a little bit once in a while a gap, but you're pretty consistent with stuff, man. And you always support your artists, which is really cool, you know. So what was the best thing about putting this record together?
I think the best thing was that I found many best things, but one thing that I actually thought of was just the thing that was weird that I did it myself was also the best thing, because I didn't have to worry or care what others actually thought. So I did one or two riffs that I tried to get into Truckfighters songs a few years ago, or many years ago even, but also didn't like it, or it didn't fit at the time he thought. And then now I did things with them. So I know it's two of the riffs on the album that I had for years just lying around. But you know, when you remember a riff for that long, it's good, right?
Yeah.
So it's time to do it. So I thought it was fun, and I thought it was very nice to do a record that sounded more like a bit grungy, because I kind of grew up with the grunge. It's nice to have a project sounding like I wanted it to sound when I was 16. Kind of, even though this is more, I wasn't this progressive when I was 16, but like the basic vibe is still how I would have wanted to do it then, but I wasn't good enough, or I didn't have musicians around me who could do it or wanted to do it, you know.
That's cool.
So that was nice.
You got a lot out of this.
Yeah. Now I just need money.
Yeah. Let's talk about a couple of the tracks I really like. Pull them up here too. The first track is a great song, almost 11 minutes. Killer jam. I was just wondering, it's called Reality Line. Is there anything in particular about it that
Yes, it's the line between reality and the internet, like social media platforms. Which reality is the real one, and where is the border between that, and how do you get lost in it and you lose your sense of time, you lose what is important maybe for reality, you know. A lot of people, you know, nowadays people even die because they want to take selfies in cool places and they fall or whatever, you know. It's
I know, totally fucked up. You know what I think? Imagine if this is an issue too, you know, like back in the day before two people got into a relationship or got married, they'd ask, you know, maybe things that would come between them. Do you want to have kids? How do you feel about religion? But now imagine, like, my wife doesn't post on social media. I don't either. I just promote my show. I don't post a lot. But what if you got one person that's like obsessive about social media and the other, that would not work with me, man. That's like another, right? Is it?
Yeah. I know. And also some people care a lot. Like, no, if you take a picture of, so if like, let's post this on the Truckfighters Insta. No, I don't look good there. Or it's like, come on, who cares? But some people really, you know, they bother to take this energy and care, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, fuck it. You are who you are.
I agree with you.
With Truckfighters, also we have this saying that we don't do retakes. So it only if it's like a technical issue or something really, really, really bad, we redo it. Otherwise, we just, okay, well, let's press record and then we improvise. And then we 98%, seriously, 98% of the times we just take that cut, whatever, that little video shoot or whatever.
I'll tell you what, it works because I've never listened to. I've listened to the whole catalog many times. I've never listened to a Truckfighters record and said, "What was that?" It's perfect, man. So I think, but yeah, this whole that's a good topic, man. This is really weird.
Well, that for me, yeah, but just so you know, this is not the retake. That is for social media content, not for music recording.
It's really
music recording has to be perfect, so it's different.
When you mentioned about taking pictures and stuff, I always like if somebody I have on the show comes to town, I always get a picture and I always tell them, hey man, this is for me. This is not, because I would never want to do that, even like just take, because it feels kind of dirty, man, you know, like let me get a picture of this dude so I can post it. It just feels weird sometimes, you know.
I mean, I can understand people that do it. That's not, I don't think it's wrong. If people want to do it, they can do it. But what I do think is a problem is that many people get too attached to it and they kind of lose track on what's important in reality. You know, like there is a real life, and then you have an internet life, and of course they're going together. But you can turn off the internet, and that's the reality. Then what you have, I would say.
Yeah, great topic. Mighty Mind, slower song. It's like super powerful, like most of your stuff is. What's the backstory to that song?
That one, that's the only song that I didn't write, but I know what it's about, of course. That's Maurice's lyric. And it's kind of a classic topic when it comes to, you know, like the problems of the mind. You know, it feels like you have a part of your brain that takes over from the side that really controls it. So something else controls it, and you kind of get anxiety or angst or these bad feelings that you cannot shake it, even though you know it's not reasonable. You know you shouldn't feel like that or be like that. But the mind has a side that is more powerful than the other side, and the one you control cannot really push the bad side away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's I think what that song is about. It's basically like
addiction, almost
angst and depression and things like that.
Yeah, great record. What are your favorite songs on there?
Oh, all of them.
I believe it. I had one time Joe Satriani was on and I asked him that question. I said, what is your favorite song? And he goes, the one I'm working on right now. Yeah. So I totally understand that.
If you put out the record, like if you have put out one fairly recently, like at least not older than 2 years, then you always think that album is the best you've done. It's been like that for me, like every record I put out in my career. It's like, this is the best, this is the best, this is the best, this is the best. So it's funny.
Well, that makes sense though, because you're especially a guy like you, because you're so driven, right? So you're always trying to improve. So that's a logical kind of thought for when you approach stuff like that. I would think so anyway. I'm like that with things I do. Did you play your SG for the whole record?
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah.
This was the first. Well, yeah. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, totally cool. Yeah.
No, this was the first record that I only used the SG, because Truckfighters I used my Rickenbacker mostly. One of my Rickenbackers. But so now I thought that something should be different, you know, in the way I record the guitar. So I took one or two or three of my SGs and used them instead.
Very cool. What did you play through?
Well, let's think now. I think I used my Mesa Boogie. Yeah, it was the Lone Star, Mesa Boogie Lone Star.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, that's my amp that I use these days. I still use my Hiwatt Custom sometimes. Right now, for example, I have one of my Lone Stars at home. So then if I go to the studio and I want to have a double amp set up when I rehearse, then I still use one of my old Hiwatts and one Mesa Lone Star. But I really like the Mesa Boogie Lone Star because you have so much options. I mean, you can switch the wattage, you have the tweed. So I can play in my living room and my neighbors don't care because it sounds good before it's too loud, you know, and I can bring it to stage and just switch it on full power and it sounds great.
It has like an attenuator?
No, it's like a switch which can kind of decides how many of the tubes you're using. And then you have the tweed, which is the Mesa thing that you have the voltage, I think, so the power gets half.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So I can have 5 watts or 10 watts or 25 watts or 50 watts or 100 watts on that amp.
Wow, that's a huge capacity, 100-watt amp.
So then you get like a crunch at so many different volumes, so you always can find the sound you want, you know, even though you don't have to play extremely loud. And if you want to be loud, you can be loud. So it's perfect.
What are you using for fuzz pedals nowadays?
Nowadays I have a custom made called Dango Unleashed, but it's a clone of a Russian Big Muff old green or black version, which are basically the same pedal.
Man, congratulations. I didn't know you got a pedal. Who makes that?
A French dude called David. I am trying to set up like a little bit bigger production run so I can sell them too, but we haven't managed to work it out yet.
Okay.
But that's kind of and something that I'm gonna happen. Maybe not. Hopefully this year, otherwise next year.
Good. Yeah. Everybody on your list would. Yeah, probably a lot of people on Fuzzorama Records list that would want that. If somebody wants to check it out now, is it available? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you disappeared a little bit, but you're back.
If somebody wants to buy the pedal now, is it available?
No.
Oh, it's not.
It's only prototyped yet. I have 2. No, I have 3. And a 4th one is on its way to me, but that's the latest prototype. And if I like it, I think we're going to try to make more of it.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's really cool.
It's fun.
If someone needs a pedal, it should be you, man. Once COVID's over, do you think you'll be touring with this project?
Yes, definitely.
You will?
Yeah.
You came to the States, but it was a very limited run. How come it was so small? What was the deal?
Time, I think. We're trying with Truckfighters to not be away too much anymore,
Right.
So that's why we did a short run last time around with the Gravity X tour. But then, I mean, we had planned on going back another run as well, but COVID made us postpone those ideas.
Yeah. I think you played in Florida, but you were on the other side of the state.
I don't think we went all the way down.
No,
I think we were in like South Carolina, as far south, or Georgia, something. It's on the way down, but not all the way down.
Yeah. Okay. Let me tell people. I didn't ask you this on the show. We talked about this earlier, but Truckfighters coming back again?
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Last question. Talk about Fuzzorama Records. You started that record. You've got a very nice roster now. It's growing all the time. What have you learned in the last year, maybe, about running Fuzzorama since the last time we spoke?
I learned that it's difficult to release records without touring. Like Witchrider and Enigma Experience now that we released, it's difficult because, like you said, to get content to post on internet, and usually you just look, they're playing here, you're gonna tour here, and now we have to think of other things, and it's hard to get the attention span, the campaign going a bit. Kind of feels like it dies out quicker. So that's something to learn to maybe postpone. I don't know, actually. I mean, it's always nice to get the music out, but it's weird not to tour a release.
I don't know if it'll make you feel better, but everybody's having the same issue with responsiveness because, there's so many, my live stream at 2:00 today, people are just, it's like old for people. I think they don't want to deal with it.
And also, this social media, swamped with Corona news, swamped with Trump stuff. It's hard to get through the noise right now.
Very hard. And the other thing, people are listening to great music through this, for the most part. Like, I've got speakers in here. So if I was going to hear, but even that, it's not, nobody's working the board, there's no production on it. So it's really just very tough for everybody, man, let me tell people where to find you and the new record. All right. First of all, again, the name of the record is, the name of the project is Enigma Experience. If you're into stoner rock and fuzz at all, you'll love it. Production's great. Mixing, as always, is great. Really good songwriting on here. It's like grunge prog, and it sounds awesome. So you could go pick up the record and check out all the other releases on Fuzzorama Records, which is Dango's label, at fuzzorama.store.com, FUZZORAMA store.com. Learn more about the record label at fuzzoramarecords.com, and learn more about the band at enigma-experience.com, and that's ENIGMA-experience.com. Any final words, Dango? Any words of wisdom?
May the fuzz be with you.
Yes, right on. That's great hearing you say that in person, man. That was the best. Thank you. That was perfect, brother. All right. On that note, everybody, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, share it on your social media channels. I appreciate your support. Thanks very much to Dango from Truckfighters and Enigma Experience. Check out the new Enigma Experience record, ? It's very cool. And most important, besides let the fuzz be with you, most important is remember that happiness is a choice. So choose wisely. Be nice, go play a guitar, and have fun. Till next time, peace and love, everybody. I'm out. Check out Enigma Experience. Dango, thanks for everything, man.